hey, every time I have to sit down behind the camera, I have to first convince myself, because it's about to get real. Stop playing, man. Stop playing. I'm a very jokey person, very free spirited. Free spirit. Yes, free spirited. That's the word. So somehow my brain wants to become a bit more streamlined, a bit more serious when we have to discuss numbers and finance. Because man, these people make it seem so serious. But whatever, man. I hope you guys are having a good week, and I hope you've been having a good day. If not, I hope it's only going to get better from now going forward. So yeah, today's one of those days, man. It's honestly one of those days where I've got sad news to share. I really do have very sad news to share, and I'm going to explain why as we go through this. So usually, when a company comes out with a set of results and they say, "Oh yeah, we have made a loss," and usually analysts, we just look at the numbers and then we forget the human impact of these results. So in the case of what you're talking about today, Astral Foods, so they have released a set of results. And look at it like this. If you're a school kid and you failed the year, then you have to take this report to your parents. And you pretty much have to explain to yourself, or to them, sorry, right, that, hey, mom, dad, yeah, I didn't perform as expected. The executives at Astral Foods are exactly in the same shoes as this school kid. The only difference, right, is they have to now take this set of financial results and then explain to the shareholders that, guys, you gave us money, you gave us a mandate to perform, and unfortunately, we could not do so. Maybe for some reasons they were beyond us, of which is something I'm definitely going to touch on. I can't help but think of an interview that I had sometime last year, and this was the CEO of ShopRite. I think it was on 702 or something. And he was asked, what is the one product that you guys are selling the most? By then they were talking of data, how ShopRite is using data. Actually, if you haven't watched the ShopRite video, I'm gonna put a link. Just check it out. I touch on how ShopRite is using data to kind of map their consumer behavior using that is it extra savings card? Yes, extra savings card, not yeah. I know I was thinking of Smart Shopper, but yes, extra savings card. And the number one product ShopRite is selling is Coca-Cola. The second most sold product is chickens. Chickens. That's the second most sold product. How does that then tie in with Astral Foods? So Astral Foods is by far the largest producer of chickens in South Africa. They are the biggest integrated poultry company in the country. One of their main focuses on is broiler chickens. So broiler chickens, you have them as day olds, look after them for like 5 or 6 weeks. After that, kill them, sell them. So on average in a week, these guys are killing about 5 million chickens, which is mad numbers. It's crazy, 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 stupid numbers. How much revenue is coming in? 19 billion with a B. It's 19 billion from these chickens. And what happened this year? Of that 19 billion, how much of it was profit? None. Zero. They made zero profit on that. To make matters worse, they actually made a loss. And you're looking at a loss of like 620 million rands. So they basically lost a lot of money to such an extent that they didn't even have enough money to keep the ship running, to keep the ship afloat. What did they have to do? These guys had to go to the bank and ask, please, man, can we draw some money from our overdraft just so we keep this ship running, we keep this ship afloat. So that's how brutal this year has been for Astral Foods. They lost so much money. Why or how did that happen? So there's two major culprits. As we all know how this year has been, right? We've had load shedding for the longest of times, especially in the earlier part of the year. And let's look at the chicken business. Remember earlier on I mentioned with broilers, you look after them for like 5 to 6 weeks. After that, slaughter them, put them to market. During that 5 to 6 weeks, there's a lot of input that goes in. So with the chicken business, it's extremely cost intensive. The biggest input is feed. And then one of the biggest, or the second biggest after the feed itself, is electricity. Why is that? Because in some cases you might have to keep the lights on, you might have to keep the fans running, you might have automated water system. The slaughtering factories, they also have to run on electricity. So going a step back, we had load shedding come in, and guess how much it cost Astro Food? It cost them about 1.6 billion with a B, just because of load shedding expenses. And here's where then it gets tricky, or here's where there's this ripple effect coming from the load shedding issues that Astral Feeds had to face. Whenever there's power cuts, one, they have to come up with a backup plan. So in this case, it will be generators, and generators consume a lot of diesel, right? Unbudgeted expense. They have to pump money into diesel, which is a lot of money that they didn't plan to spend. On top of that, they have to hold some of the factories that deal with the slaughtering. So imagine now you've got 5 to 6 week birds that should be killed now and packaged and ready to go. But you can't because there's no power. And because you're running on a generator, you can't kill as much as you would do as compared to when you have electricity. So what does that mean? You have to keep these birds alive for longer. The moment you keep them for longer than that intended 5 to 6 weeks, what then happens? They start slowly eating into the profit, because by then you're making a loss on this bird, but you can't kill them because you don't have enough power, or you don't have power for long enough. On top of that, you're already spending extra on generators. So they were burning money. I think the capital expenditure, which is the money that they had to spend extra, was like give or take 400 million, over and above everything that I have mentioned. So that being said, Astral Foods really had a very tough period. I think it was extremely unique. Nonetheless, they did also say this is like the worst they have had basically in the entire existence. So in the entire 23 years, this financial year has been the most difficult. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share about the results, and also highlight what could have went wrong, what could have led to this financial loss. This is something, of course, we're going to keep an eye on. Almost forgot to mention something extremely important. Avian influenza. Unfortunately, there were a number of cases of avian influenza. This was the second time it happens this year. The first time, it wasn't as bad, but of course money was lost. This time around, I think it was 4 times or 5 times bigger than the previous one. So on top of this load shedding, there was a number of cases of avian influenza. What does that mean? They have to kill a lot of chickens. Once you've got that virus on the farm, all of the chickens have to be killed. And that is a loss, straight up. So yeah, sad news, man. Sad news coming from Astral Foods. Chicken business, it's extremely cost intensive. Margins, they're very tight. And yeah, unfortunately for them, they lost quite a lot of money. Let's just keep an eye on it. I hope yeah, management has to pull their socks into the coming financial year. Of course, these are some headwinds that they have no control over. But at the end of the day, shareholders, to some extent, they might not really care much about that. All they want is return on the capital that they have invested. So yeah, I thought I should just share this when I saw this, and I hope to get some good feedback. Thank you for spending your time to watch this, and I hope it's going to be educational and informative. That sounds like a big word, but sharp.